Wow, hello. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm dynamite. I'm dynamite. My name's Jimmy. I'm with Bleeding Cool. I
Hi,
want to
Jimmy. Is it sounding okay? I don't have my mic hooked up, but does it sound clear to you?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Cool.
Sounds great. Uh
Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
a pleasure's all on this side of the internet. Let me thanks so much for being so gracious and taking the time to let me lob a couple of these softballs at you. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk about Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The reunion
Yeah.
show that's airing tonight on the CW. Let's start off with I'd like to know. So Scooby Doo's been around for a little over 50 years. I'm pretty sure you're a fan, as I've been for so long, most of my life. You follow in the footsteps of some iconic actors in the voice of Velma, Nicole Jaffe, Pat Stevens, and I believe you inherited the role from Mindy Cohen. So I'd like to know what's it like for you to slide into the iconic and strong female character that's not so dependent on the boys, if you will. Is there any pressure to playing that famous Velma Dinkley?
Yeah, I definitely felt when I was so excited when I got the role. I've always been a fan of Scooby-Doo, and Velma's always been my favorite character ever since I was really little. So it was a huge deal for me when I found out that I got the part. But I think throughout the years, her voice is somebody I always resonated with her, and I felt like, okay, now I've got to do my job to make sure I keep her, this strong, independent woman, and among other things, she's just so cool. So I felt the pressure, yes, but I also I have so much fun with it. And a really fun fact, so Mindy and also Linda Cardellini, who played Velma in the movies, in the live action movies, and myself, we all went to Loyola Marymount University. So I always think that's just a very strange coincidence that Loyola Marymount breeds Velmas.
Is do you outside of the booth, do you ever hang out with the other Velmas like Mindy,
I've run into
Linda?
Mindy socially. At one time we ran into each other at the Largo Theater, and then Linda I know a bit, mostly through mutual friends at school, and so yeah, I think and I used to go for walks near her house, and we'd always hang. So yeah, I guess I know them a little bit, but yeah, it's just cool to know that there's a bunch of Velmas out there.
Do you guys have like maybe pink satin jackets that say smart chick on the back or something, like
No,
in
but we
Greece?
should.
Yeah. Right. So you've been 7 years now. You've been voicing Velma since Be Cool Scooby Doo. I'd like to know, how did you get the role in the reunion special? You mentioned the voice is just kind of your same voice, a little more nasally. So I'm wondering, were you ordering coffee somewhere and Wes Gleason stood up across the room and said, "That's my Velma. I need to have her."
I actually don't know. I had heard that they were auditioning Velmas, and so I thought, oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity. I got to try it. And so yeah, I sent in an audition, and then they came back with some notes, with some adjustments, and so I did a second audition, and then I got the part. So I'm not really sure. I think it might have been Colette Sunderman who thought of me originally for it, but I don't know how wide a net they had cast. I'm not sure. I just know that I know exactly where I was when I got the call that I had gotten the part, and I was so excited. And I was at a park, and I was running around the trees, so happy.
You were running around the trees once you got the news.
The call, yeah, I was
Right.
like, no way, really, really, and I was like on the phone pacing, and like I just was kind of like doing like figure eights around the trees because I was so excited.
Let me, if I could ask you a couple Velma specific questions.
Sure.
Where do you think she is? Is she happy with her role in Mystery Inc.?
Oh, I don't know. I I think so. I think it's just like one of those things where they're her constant people in her lives. So for good or bad, they're all together. And I think ultimately they're all really happy, even if they, can annoy each other once in a while. So,
Right.
but I guess that's any family, right?
Yeah, I think you had the best line of the reunion when you said, "How can it be a reunion if we're never apart?" Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Mentioned
true.
Velma in college. What do you think she would do once she's out of high school or college? What might be her vocation?
A researcher of some kind for sure. And I imagine she'd be a person who like does those like fancy vacations where like she can like do an archaeological dig, something like that.
That's fun. So, and then I wanted to ask about her outfit. Her sweater and skirt hasn't really changed since 1969. So, if you could do a makeover, what do you think Velma would like to wear?
Oh gosh, I wonder. I think she's kind of stuck in her ways, it seems, because she doesn't seem to want to change it. But I'd love to see what a version would be of with jeans. Like let her have some jeans for once. So,
Some pants.
yeah,
Yeah.
that poor girl like goes on crazy adventures in a skirt. And so does Daphne.
Scooby and Shaggy always lose their mind whenever they see food or get distracted, excuse me. So what would you say is Velma's weakness?
Oh gosh. I feel like well, one of her weaknesses is that really if she loses her glasses, she's just gone, can't see anything. So I guess that's one big weakness. And she can geek out really hard and sometimes I love the episodes, and also there've been some fun DVD um ones where she like crushes on people, and when she has a crush, that can be a weakness too, and I always think that's fun to play.
Let me ask you about your fellow castmates, such big names in the industry and in entertainment in general. Frank Welker, Griffin, Matthew Lillard. What's it like working with them in the booth? How do you guys get along inside and outside?
Oh man, it is like, I know it's going to sound cheesy, but it's a total dream. And, ever since COVID, we haven't been in the same room. But even when we are together, prior to COVID, like I'd always just like be like, I can't believe the four of us are in a booth right now. And like I would close my eyes and like listen. And I just can't believe that like I'm in this world, because it's these voices that I know so well. And Frank he's been a part of Scooby-Doo since the very beginning, so we all grew up listening to him. And so it's just really, and not only that, but he's just the nicest man. And Matt and Gray, we all laughed so hard. We like, just, it's a dream. I can't wait for the day that we're able to be back together in person, because I do miss it a lot.
Some guest stars. Do you have a favorite team up or guest star from the show from your tenure?
A lot of times the guest star is not in the booth with us, just because of their schedules. But one time we did have Bill Nye, and he was with us in the booth, and I am such a big Bill Nye fan, and so that was really exciting. And he actually was dancing during a break. He and Gray were doing a dance together. He was just a really fun guest star, and that was just really nice that he was in the booth with us. But he's one of my favorites, and of course Weird Al was one of my favorite episodes of Scooby-Doo Guess Who. I love Weird Al.
I mean, it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun, and I like to hear stories. Like you said, Bill was dancing, all the work that goes in behind the scenes, like all the stuff that happens behind the scenes. And we only get to hear just a couple minutes of your recorded voices, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always feel that way because, even for us, it's 4 hours in a booth, but the animators are just working day in and day out to make this show. And it's, we actually I got to meet a lot of the animators for for Scooby-Doo Guess Who, and that was really cool. And I got to, go to their offices and see where they work and draw, because they're putting in such long hours to make a show like that happen, and it's really an amazing art form. So yeah, for me, I feel like I have one of the easier jobs on the show, because it's just 4 hours having fun with a bunch of actors.
Sure. My boys down in research told me that you secretly wanted to act, but you really wanted to be a toy designer and make puppets before you got
Oh
into
yeah.
acting. What were those toys and what were those puppets? What did they look like? What kind of?
Well, that was, yeah, when I was in high school and college, I was really shy. And even though I was in the school plays, I was always kind of in the background in the chorus, and I would like lip sync to the songs because I was really scared to do actual, like, be out there in front of the spotlight, I guess. But so I thought, if I could do voices and I could do puppets, then that would be a way to kind of hide behind a little bit. So I had always wanted to do puppets. And then when I was in college, I started, creating these puppets and carving them out of different things. I did a Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma and the wolf. And I did, that was one of the big things I did in college. I just sculpted them out of foam and they looked really cool. I actually still have them. But then that sculpting and doing puppets then led me to wanting to be a toy designer. And I just thought that would be like, just, I don't know. I was an art major and I was always coming up with different ideas. And the funny thing is, then I ended up going to Loyola Marymount, like I had mentioned, and Mattel is down the street. And there was a woman who worked there in the Barbie division, and she saw my senior art show. And my paintings were all very whimsical and kind of bright and maybe looked a little toy-like or something. And she said, "Have you ever thought about being a toy designer?" And I said, "Well, yes, actually, I totally have." And so I got offered a job at Mattel, and it was the same week I got my first commercial. And I thought to myself, "Oh, if I take this job, I'm not going to have a chance to go out on these auditions because it would be a, a 9 to 5 job." And I thought, I'm going to just try this other thing first. So I went the route of being poor for a little while longer, but I think it worked out well for me because, I got to do more commercials, and that led to doing TV, and actually voiceover didn't come until a little later, where I kept auditioning. I wanted to do voices and for so long, and I think it was about 5 years of auditioning before I finally got a gig. So yeah, I feel lucky. I feel really lucky that I got to do the thing I wanted to do.
Wow, talk about crossroads, right?
Yeah.
What was that first voice acting gig?
It was for a show called Motor City. It was on Disney, and it was such a cool show. And Mark Hamill played my dad, and it was awesome. It went for 1 season, but it's beautiful. I don't know where you could find it. I wonder, it might be on Disney Plus now. I should look
I'll check it out.
it's a really, really cool show.
I have seen it. Let me ask you about your relationship with the ukulele. How did you start? Do you think would you say, or would you agree that it helped your career, helped get you where you are today?
I mean, weirdly, it totally did help my career. I never would have thought that, especially I grew up playing piano, and I was putting myself through college, and I had graduated with a 2-year art degree. So I didn't know what my next move was going to be, and I knew that was going to be a very expensive move to the next school, wherever I was going to go. So I went and visited my aunt and uncle in Hawaii, and my grandpa was there too. And I was missing my piano. I was there for 3 months, and so my grandpa bought me a ukulele, and I painted it. I remember painting this really cool Hawaiian flower on it and some stars, and I started learning songs, and then who knew that would be the thing. And I eventually ended up in school in LA. And then when I finished, I was babysitting, I was teaching piano, and I had my ukulele hanging on the wall. And then I just started playing it a lot more. And then I started writing funny songs. And then that sort of led to, lots of things, I guess. So yeah, who knew that, who knew that was going to be the thing?
So you had already mastered it when you teamed up with Ricky Lindholm for Garfunkel and
Yeah.
Oates.
I wouldn't have mastered it. Maybe, I don't know. That's a very nice way of putting it, but I was playing it a lot then. And I was doing a show in LA called Playing with Miccucci, which was a lot of my solo songs and funny stories and puppets and things like that. And then when Ricky and I teamed up, we started doing Garfunkel and Oates together. And that was just sort of like this crazy magical ride where very quickly we were playing really fun shows and traveling and touring. And yeah, that was sort of just kismet. When we met and started writing together, it just kind of clicked in a way that was really unexpected and very exciting.
Yeah. Big fan of that work. Big fan of
Oh,
you
thank
guys.
you.
Yeah. Not so much as Velma, but as Kate. What are your thoughts on Scrappy Doo?
I know he's a controversial figure, but I think really when I was a kid, I was never truly like, oh my God, it's a Scrappy episode. I was never that excited about him. And I don't think I've worked as Velma. I don't think I've worked with Scrappy since. So I don't know. Maybe he's a cool guy. I've
Maybe
had a
he
chance
is.
to meet him.
Yeah, maybe he's just misrepresented in the media.
Yeah.
I've had you for a little while. Thank you again. Let me bring this plane in for a landing. When I was a child, I used to have to get up early to beat my brother to the couch so I could get the good spot in front of the TV so I could watch my cartoons. But I'd have to get up even earlier than that to beat my parents to the kitchen so I could pour myself a big bowl of sugary goodness to get myself started for the day. So, Kate Miccucci, I'd like to know, what was your favorite bowl of Saturday morning cereal and what cartoons did you watch?
Oh, well, okay. You're gonna laugh. I know you would think I'm trying to be weird, but as a kid, My favorite cereal was Bran Flakes. I remember asking, I was like, raisin bran. I love raisin bran, but I don't love raisins. And my parents were like, well, there is another cereal called Bran Flakes that doesn't have the raisins. And I was like, are you kidding
That's
me? So that was always my favorite cereal. I know that sounds crazy. I also really do miss Fruity Marshmallow Krispies. I don't know that they make them anymore, but going to the TV in the morning, it was always, there was Scooby-Doo. I like the GI Joe cartoon, which I think that came out in the afternoon, so that wasn't really a morning show. But then the other thing my brother and I always watched in the morning was Little Rascals. TNT used to
oh
play Little Rascals, and we'd watch that early in the morning before school. But yeah, that's what I watched a lot. And of course I Love Lucy, but that came on at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock on Fox.
got that remembered. Little Rascals, that's some good comedy. You don't get fun stuff like that these days.
Yeah, I mean those were really funny. Just like, watching little kids do anything is always fun. So I those are funny. I haven't seen them in years and years, but
Mhm.
always enjoyed
So
them as a kid.
that's it. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You Now? Reunion airs tonight on the CW. What am I missing? What do you think everybody should know about Velma Dinkly before I let you go?
Well, I think I will say that tonight, this episode is just really one of the funniest. Like, it made me laugh so hard. I thought it was so charming. The monster, I'm not going to give much away, but it is really funny. And
It is.
yeah, I was just so delighted by this episode. I got a sneak peek last night, and I just would say watch it. It's a really, really fun time. And Velma luckily has found her glasses. So
Great, great. Hey, so that's all I got, Kate. Thanks so much for your time. Do me a favor, enjoy the rest of your day, and then we'll see you on the other side, okay?
awesome. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.